So are you thinking about serving as trustee for the first time? Before you say yes, there's 5 big mistakes I want you to avoid. From skipping legal help to rushing through paperwork, or even accepting a role you're not prepared for, these missteps can cause stress and even real legal trouble. In this video, I'll walk you through what not to do so you can move forward with confidence or step back if it's not the right fit. So the first question to ask is, should you be acting as trustee in the first place? You should make sure that you have what it takes to act in this role. For example, if you have a health condition that might prevent you from acting as trustee, say several months down the line, don't take the job. I've represented several trustees over the years who had major health issues. And let me tell you, those trust administrations stretched out for years. The beneficiaries were upset. It was really stressful to the trustee. It was all bad. If you want to see what it takes to administer a trust, I have a video called "What Happens to My Trust After I Die?" There's a lot of steps, and it's just not that easy. Also, first-time trustees have to start from scratch when they're getting their information. And it's a steep learning curve. This is something I think they should teach you in school, but they don't. And most likely, you'll never do it again, or maybe just one more time in your lifetime. Is it really worth it to spend so much of your time and energy on learning something that you'll probably only do once in your life? Now, sometimes people feel obliged to act as trustee because the deceased person named them, but that doesn't mean you actually have to do it. Sometimes a trust has language where you can decline to act as trustee and name somebody else, maybe a professional, to act in your place. You might want to consider that. I have a video called Roles and Responsibilities of Trustees, and that walks you through all of the responsibilities and liabilities that you could take on when acting as a trustee. So I'm not saying don't act as trustee. I'm just saying think very carefully before you agree to take on the role. So now maybe you've decided, yes, I want to act as trustee. So my next point is hire an attorney. This may seem a little self-serving because, I am an attorney, but I've seen a lot of clients come in where they've tried to do it themselves, and there's a lot to clean up. It takes a lot more time and effort and money to undo something that you tried on your own and didn't work. Now, my clients who tend to think that they can do it on their own, no offense, tend to be attorneys and engineers. And if you're an engineer, you know what I'm talking about. You like to figure things out. But this is really different. It's a different set of codes. It's different than what you're typically working on. I've also had people like patent attorneys come in and they go, "Oh, I deal with patents all day. How hard can a trust administration really be? I'll figure it out myself." This is not something you want to try at home.
Did you know my mom has a monthly newsletter where she shares helpful information? Click below to join.
Okay, so my next step is don't rush. Beneficiaries, the people receiving the money, are often in a big rush to receive their money. And they think, hey, somebody died, I should be getting my check in the mail next week. But that's not actually the case. A trust administration process can take up to 4 to 6 months when you do it right. So don't let beneficiaries guilt you along or prod you along or bully you into rushing the trust administration. It's just not worth it. So why does it take so long? Well, there's a lot to do. Also, you're dealing with government entities and banks, all of whom they have their own way that they want you to do things. And they have a lot of pushback if you don't do it exactly right. And sometimes they don't even get back to you for weeks or even months. So part of your role as trustee is to manage beneficiary expectations. You should let the beneficiaries know this could take a while, and then you should keep them posted on the progress. So what happens if you rush? Well, I've seen some trustees get so eager to get started that they go out and they get a tax ID number, which is something you usually need to do when somebody dies. But the problem is, they don't really know how to get the tax ID number and they make mistakes on the application. So then we have to go back and fix those mistakes with the IRS. And guess what? IRS, government entity, it takes a long time and a lot of work to fix that. Make sure that you enter everything correctly, or better yet, work with an attorney who's done this many times and they can make sure that the tax ID number is obtained properly and everything else is done right. So the fourth point, which I just mentioned actually, is you should keep the beneficiaries informed of the progress. So beneficiaries will get some notices. For example, there's a required notice when somebody dies and a trust becomes irrevocable. It's called a notice of irrevocability. So at that point, a beneficiary will learn about that trust. But that doesn't have to be the only time you talk with them. You can let them know, say, monthly, what's going on, what progress you've made. And by the way, beneficiaries love this. They're so grateful when you affirmatively take steps to fill them in. I've seen that the biggest problems come up with trust administration when the trustee is like, they just ignore the requests. They don't really care. They say, I'm doing my work. They can just wait. Not a good idea, in my opinion. As humans, we jump to the worst conclusions when we don't know what's happening. So please, just keep people informed. And finally, you should make sure that you get paid. This is a lot of work, and you should be getting a salary for this work. Now, whatever you get paid, keep in mind, you do have to pay income taxes on that salary. Now, if you're wondering, how much should I get paid? I have a video on that. It's called Trustee Fees, How Much Should I Pay? So keep track of the time that you work on these things. Maybe set up an Excel spreadsheet and fill it out as you go. This can help to justify your fees if anybody complains in the future. I know it's a pain to do that, but it really is worth it. I've seen that really be very helpful time and time again. So if you're a first-time trustee, you don't have to go it alone. Check out the videos that I've linked below for more help on trustee responsibilities and fees, and reach out to our office if you need guidance. And don't forget to share this video with anyone who's been named to act as trustee, because you might save them some major headaches.
If this video is helpful for you, share it to someone else who might benefit from it.